Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 93 and today I am really excited for this episode because we're going to be doing a bunch of redstone. We're going to be creating something that I've never really done particularly before on the Hermitcraft server, at least not on a large scale, and I think it should be awesome. It's going to be a really awesome episode and I can't wait to begin. Let's just fly down, right the way down to the industrial district, and while I do this, I thought I would mention something just a little bit silly that I currently am working on. And the reason I want to mention it is because, well, it's one of those projects, okay? I'm one of those people, I love making things, I love creating things. Obviously, I create YouTube videos and I create things in Minecraft, but I love building things in real life as well. One thing that I've always wanted to do is I've always wanted to create a longboard. I love longboarding, and I thought, well, I could put the two things together. I create a longboard, I have a fun project to work on, and also at the end of it, I should, in theory, get a really awesome longboard. Now, this is something that I've been working on for like the past couple months. I've been gradually getting all the things needed to do this because I had a bunch of tools at home, but I didn't have a lot of the tools that I needed. So I needed a router, and I also needed a bandsaw. Both of those are now on the way, and I'm starting to realize maybe I've bitten off more than I can chew here, because obviously I've spent a bunch of money on these tools. Okay, those tools are not cheap in the slightest. Already, I've spent more on tools than I could have spent on a top-of-the-range longboard. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. And I'm at the point now where I'm thinking, what if it doesn't go well? What if I build a really rubbish longboard? That's my thoughts for this morning. And the reason I'm thinking that is because I've just had to order a bunch more stuff to build this thing. And I'm just thinking, oh boy, because my mum and my girlfriend both said, you're being stupid, Ollie, just buy one. They would get the biggest I told you so in the history of mankind. And I thought I'd share that with you because that's currently all that's racing through my mind right now. But anyway, we have got some serious redstone to do. We are going to be creating an awesome potion brewing station, and we have to save that guy. He's almost on his way out. I've got to grab myself some quartz. One bit of quartz for the Mumbo Quest-a-lot bot, or the Mumbo Quest-a-lot bot. I can never quite remember which way around that name goes, but we should see that the randomizer will kick into action, so it needs gold at this time, and the happiness should begin to increase, and eventually this guy will show a happy face on his face once again. Fantastic. But anyway, the first thing that we're actually going to be doing in today's episode is to do with the Mumbo Quest-a-lot bot. As you guys know, I've been doing quite a lot of AFK fishing recently. AFK fishing is a brilliant thing. I love AFK fishing, but it does seem to be pretty bad for our guy over here's health. Okay, we keep killing him. So what I thought we could do is hook up a redstone system that shuts off the killing mechanism of that guy, but only while we're AFK fishing. That's basically my plan. So we're going to run a redstone line out from this lever. When we turn on the AFK fish farm, we will turn off that guy to stop him from dying every time we go AFK, because it's a little bit annoying. Built this horrendous obsidian wall in my AFK fish farm. I despise you. I absolutely despise you. I've run the redstone out from the lever, and that makes its way across here, and I'm now sort of winding my way around the bottom of the Quest-a-lot bot, trying to find the hopper timer. Now, as far as I remember, the hopper timer was somewhere around here? Yeah, it's there. Right, okay, so we need to switch that thing off, and the way that I'm going to switch it off is by locking some of the hoppers. That seems like a pretty good idea to me. So I've got to run this redstone out, and we're basically going to wiggle it around until it gets over into this area, and then we're going to run it into a redstone torch tower, and that should just about do the trick. Currently, the AFK fish farm is switched off, which means that we need this thing to be active. So I guess I just need to run a redstone line out like this, and a redstone line into that hopper there, and that should do the trick. I think that will do the trick. So when we switch on the AFK fish farm, obviously the AFK fish farm will turn on, but also it will turn off this hopper timer, which will stop these items transferring between one another, which should deactivate the redstone clock, meaning that the happiness will not decrease anymore. Now that is the theory, and I have a feeling it is going to work quite nicely as long as all of this redstone is linked up properly. Which, of course, I haven't managed to do. Right, let's replace this redstone, and repeater goes here. Cool, okay, so now if we take a look up at the top, yep, that is active. That will be powering that hopper timer. It did just fire, though, which is a little bit concerning, but I imagine that is because all of the items are getting locked in one of the hoppers, so they were just transferring back across. Yes, okay, fantastic, excellent. This is now functional. Awesome, we have a kill switch for the Mumbo Quest-a-Lot bot. But anyway, aside from all that, we are now going to be moving on to the next project, which of course is our massive potion brewing station. And this is the potion brewing station I've created. It's just 2 blocks wide, it's 3 blocks deep, it's quite tall, but it involves 3 different elements of the potion. So we're going to have nether wart, then we get ourselves the sugar for the swiftness potion, and then we have redstone to prolong the swiftness. And obviously, you can put different ingredients in there. You can do splash potions, that sort of thing. I'm quite proud of this. Let's just hope that it works. Fingers crossed. So we have got nether warts, and then we have the sugar, then we have the redstone. That's fantastic. And every time you hit the button, the potions are dropped out into the chest. So when you hit the button, you basically get the old set of potions, then a new set of potions are brewed so that you can get them and replenish the supply. I hope that that makes sense, and we're going to be building a bunch of these on the Hermitcraft server, and it should end up working really quite nicely. So this right here should be all of the space that we need for our potion brewing stations. Now, I've done a little bit of maths here, and I've worked out that we can fit 10 potion brewing stations in this space. So they're going to be running along both walls. We can fit 5 on that wall and 5 on that wall as well, which is going to be pretty spectacular. I have no idea if I'm going to need that many potions. Probably not, but that's the way that we do things on this YouTube channel. Completely pointlessly massive, but also quite awesome at the same time. I've just realised why this is taking so long. I don't have my Haste 2 beacon. I really need to set that up. I think at some point in the near future, we're going to set up a permanent location for that beacon and then get a temporary beacon that we can just transport around because, well, this is painful. I think that just about does it. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks down. All of the potion brewing stations are 6 blocks tall, which means that that will fit perfectly with the floor in place. Good. Okay, excellent. So we now have the space. It took a long time to clear out with just efficiency 5, but we should be good to go now. So I'm going to gather up some redstone resources. I'm going to gather up all of the blocks, the droppers, and the hoppers. Actually, this is going to need quite a lot of stuff. I swear Exumavoid had some form of blaze rod shop somewhere. I've gathered up all of the other resources. We've got over 30 droppers, we've got over 60 hoppers, over 30 chests, which means that we're above budget there. We have got the exact number of repeaters and red hardened clay, which is good, and all of the redstone and things. I've brought over a ton of diamonds here because I was going to splash out, and I cannot for the life of me remember where he's put the shop. That is the problem. That is the problem with having this many shops on the Hermitcraft server. I can't seem to find them. I can't find them at all. So it turns out I completely imagined it. There is no Blaze Farm shop on the server right now. I don't know where that came from in my head. But Exuma does actually have a Blaze Farm, but it's his personal Blaze Farm. However, Impulse and Tango actually just recently built this Blaze Farm right here. In fact, it might have just been Impulse. But they've constructed this, and it seems to be working quite nicely. Look, we've got some blaze down here. We can punch them, we can get their XP, and also all of the blaze rods end up in this chest right here. So I'm going to do some work. I'm going to gather up a bunch of these little fellas, and then hopefully we can get plenty for the farm. I didn't actually mention this while I was over there, but that blaze farm was really, really awesome. Instead of using pistons or anything like that to push the blaze into like a killing chamber, it didn't have any of that. Instead, it makes use of the blaze AI to actually work, which is quite an interesting concept, and it's one that I personally don't fully understand. But you essentially have like a big room, and then in the corner of that room you've got an opening, and the blaze just walk towards it. They walk towards it, they fall in it, and then there we go. You've got your blaze in your killing chamber. It's as simple as that. So I remember the days when we used to have massive piston contraptions and things to make that sort of stuff work. Nope, not this time. You just have a big empty room and then a crushing mechanism, and that is everything. And it's pretty efficient as well. I mean, I managed to get a half decent number of blaze rods in a relatively short space of time, and I am going to be popping back over there shortly because we need loads and loads of blaze powder to actually power these things. But I'm very impressed. And as you can see, I'm currently in the process of constructing our potion brewing stations themselves. I've done 2 of them. This one is going to be the 3rd one. It's a really smooth building experience. The design itself is so simple. We've got 3 droppers, I think 6 hoppers in total, 2 bits of redstone, a repeater, a redstone torch, and 3 chests. And you just need to place all of those in around the brewing stand. And that's it. It really is that simple. In fact, yeah, that is the 3rd one done, bar the bottle loading mechanism. I have, however, just realised that I have built this in the wrong location. This is right up against the wall. Even though it doesn't look like it, I cleared out that space to put the wall there. So this is going to be pushed up against it, which means that the one on the end is going to be 2 blocks away from the wall, which is annoying. That is really, really annoying. I'm trying to think of what I could do with that. Perhaps you could do the redstone powering system on this end to sort of balance it out. Oh, I don't know what to say, guys. Bit of a progress update for you guys. I have built 5 of our 10 potion brewing stations, so half of it is all done. And I have to say, each time I build a new one, I think to myself, I'm sure that was enough. Okay, I'm sure that is more than enough. After 2. After the first 2, the third one I was like, I don't know if I need this. Then the fourth one I was like, I really don't need this. Fifth one I'm like, this is completely redundant. And this entire side is just going to be totally pointless. I mean, who needs this many potions? Every time I press the button for this entire system, it's going to create 3 there, 3 there. It's going to create 30 potions. I've just realised. That's insane. But it's also very cool, and I'm very glad that we're currently in the process of building it. So I am going to build the other side, but one thing that I just quickly want to mention is that there is some construction work going on outside, so if you can hear some loud construction-y noises, not my fault, unfortunately. Blame them. And with that, everything is done. All 5 of these have been done. It is all completed. All of the redstone is in place. All of these should be fully functional. I hope. If they're not fully functional, then that is incredibly depressing because, of course, we have just spent a bunch of time building this thing. So this looks brilliant. I'm really, really happy with the way that it looks. And now what we have to do is we're actually going to have to gather up some resources for this thing because obviously, well, we have the potion brewing stands. Okay, that's brilliant. But we don't have anything in the potion brewing stands. We don't have any nether wart. I've got absolutely no nether wart whatsoever. I've got no water bottles. I've got no ingredients for the potions. But most importantly, I don't have any blaze powder to actually power the brewing stands, which means that they're not really working at this point in time. So that is definitely something that we're going to have to work on fixing. And the way that we're going to do that is by a really quick AFK session over at Tango and Impulse's Blaze Farm. I'm going to be popping over there while I get my hair cut, believe it or not. I should be there for around about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and hopefully we can get a ton of blaze rods. I feel like leaving this thing running for an hour and a half could potentially be very irresponsible as we already have 148 blaze here, and I've only been here for around about half an hour. But the XP is definitely very good. Oh no, I've just come back from my haircut and we're getting like 3 frames a second on my monstrous PC. I'm so sorry to everyone who is online right now. Just listen to this noise. You can't even render it. Right, okay. Let's do this. Whoa! Oh, we are down to 1 frame a second. Well, that was spectacular. That was absolutely spectacular. I loved every second of it. And I think we picked up all of the blaze rods, because by the look of things, there aren't any more in the chest. So from this session right here, we have managed to get 4.5 stacks of blaze rods, which is actually enough, I think. I think that is enough. That is the perfect quantity! No, it's not quite! Oh, we need to do a tiny bit more AFKing, because we actually need 1 more stack of blaze rods so that we can fuel all of our brewing stands perfectly. I just realised, I have not killed a wither skeleton at all in Hermitcraft Series 4, so I thought I would fight it with 23 diamonds and all my best gear. That was really easy. For some reason, I always think of wither skeletons as being like super hardcore. He didn't even get a hit on us. Blaze powder in this one, and then blaze powder in that one. And that is everything fully fueled up. So all of these are now ready and raring to go. We just need to place in the nether wart and then the actual components and then the modifier. But this place is ugly. It's so very ugly. We have got absolutely nothing going on. So I think the first thing that we've got to do is a tiny bit of decoration. You guys know the drill now, okay? I don't even need to tell you what we're going to do because it's quite obvious. Sandstone, sandstone, glass. And I think you'll all agree that that looks very pretty indeed. Lovely stuff. We've got the sandstone, we've got the redstone clay, we've got all of the glass in place. Thankfully, I actually had all of those items in my storage system for once. I didn't have to do a bunch of resource gathering. So this is nice. Only thing I will say is that's not so hot. That's my current way of getting in and out of this place. So I think we're going to go for a really simple solution, nothing fancy like this. Good old-fashioned ladder. Next plan for today's episode is to gather resources to fill in all of the potion brewing stations. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to fill in all of the potion brewing stations, because that would be a lot of resources. But what we are going to do is we're going to harvest this thing. Now, this is a rather large nether wart farm, and I'm going to have to replant all of it. So that should be interesting. Side button half harvest, so that's 1,500 wart. Floor button full harvest, 3,000 wart. Let's do this. That means that I do have to place 3,000 nether wart once this kicks in, which I hadn't thought of. But we should begin to see. Ah! Oh, fantastic! There we go. And let's just gradually pick up all of this. I mean, it's making its way in. This is a really smart design by Cubfan. Cubfan was the person who actually built this farm. The only thing that I will say is that I am a little bit apprehensive to replant all of this because, well, that's going to take months, isn't it? That is going to take absolutely months. It's still flowing in. There's still nether wart on the way in. I've filled my inventory again. Bit of a progress update on the great replant. I think I'm just in the process of running out of nether wart. We are on layer number 4 of 7, which means that we are just over halfway. Have to say, I'm strangely enjoying myself. This is quite therapeutic, just chucking in all these. I'm not going to say I'd do it for fun. I'm not saying that in the slightest. But you know what, it's not that bad. And there it is. We have filled in all of the nether wart with this final one. Good stuff. It only took around about 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes to do all of it, which actually isn't that bad. When I first did it, I thought it was going to be a lot longer than that. So let's pick up our profits, which we have got large quantities of them, and we will start throwing these into the dispensers. Now, how many can we have per dispenser? Probably 4 or 5. Sweet, that's actually really good. Just in the process of taking over the second batch of nether warts, and I thought I'd quickly do some research on potions, because I didn't do that before this episode. Turns out I've been really jammy, and the potions I want, there are 10 of them. There are 10 potions I want, and I have created 10 potion brewing stations, which is absolutely lovely. So we're going to have Swiftness Plus, which is Swiftness with the Redstone. We're then going to have Swiftness 2, Night Vision Plus, Fire Resistance Plus, Water Breathing Plus, Potion Healing Plus, Healing 2, Strength Plus, Strength 2, and Invisibility. Those are all the different potions that we are going to be making using our potion brewing stations. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to get all of the items for that in today's episode. In fact, I'm going to categorically say no, as that is going to be a lot of items. So we're going to have to do that over the next couple of days. But that's good. Amazingly enough, things have worked out for once, and I haven't had a single spoon moment in today's episode. Guys, I've got some bad news. I don't think I've got enough sugarcane to craft swiftness potions. I mean, I really wanted 37 double chests, and we've only got 36. Well, Biffa, you have missed out on my business, my friend, because I've just come over here ready to spend a bunch of diamonds. We need 27 stacks of blaze powder, so around about 14 stacks of blaze rods, which would have been 28 diamonds, but unfortunately that hasn't actually quite worked, which is a little bit upsetting because it means that we can't make a lot of the potions. But we still need to get 9 golden carrots, and we also need to get 9 gold as well for the instant health potions. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm rubbish at potions, by the way. I can never remember the recipes. Having taken a closer look at the recipe for Potion of Invisibility, the fermented spider eye is a pain in the backside, to say the least. I don't think there's any shops in the shopping district that sell spider eyes. Definitely not mushrooms. I've not seen any mushroom shops. So that might be something that we have to do at some point. Yeah, we're going to have to do that at some point in the future. But for now, I've got a large quantity of the resources required to do this. So we should be able to fill 6 out of 10 slots in our potion brewing station. Glistering Melon definitely wins the award for most annoying crafting recipe. I think I've just smashed my phone. Have I just smashed my phone? Oh, thank you. I just realised that clip didn't make it particularly clear that I hadn't smashed my phone. I haven't smashed my phone, thankfully. And also, as I was saying, Glistering Melon definitely has the most annoying crafting recipe in the game. It's just so frustrating. All of the ingredients are now in place. So we have Swiftness, we have got Swiftness 2, then this one right here is going to be Night Vision, Then this one's going to be fire resistance. We don't have any magma cream, so that's something that we're going to have to get in the next episode. Then we have got water breathing, which is pufferfish. Thank you, AFK Fish Farm, because otherwise that would have been absolutely awful to get, to be honest. And then if we head over to this side, we've got instant health 2. Then this one's going to be strength, no blaze powder, and strength 2, no blaze powder. And then finally invisibility, no fermented spider eyes. So those are all things that we're going to have to work on in the next episode. We're also going to have to work on getting all of the glowstone and the redstone, which is going to be going out the back in all of these droppers, which is going to be awful. That is going to be horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. So I'm probably going to have to do a mining session and a massive trading session, and also a bunch of other resource gathering. It's going to be a fun episode, but now what we're going to do is, once again, we are going to be popping down to the bottom and we're going to be doing a little bit of AFK fishing, because A, I didn't do that in the last episode and I miss it, and B, I want to try out my new kill switch to make sure that this guy doesn't die. So I'm going to pick up my fishing rod and we'll see how many resources we can get. Top tip, if you can't find the item you're looking for, check the hoppers behind it. There we go. I was stressing, big time. So guys, I have just come back into the office, and by the look of things, wow. Yeah, basically, something has happened. We have been AFK fishing for so long. I've actually been AFK fishing since Friday. That was when I recorded this video. It is now Sunday, around about 1 PM. So that's quite a few days of AFK fishing, and by the look of things, we have filled all of the chests in my storage system with items, and all of the hoppers. So all of the hoppers going from the AFK fish farm, they're all filled with items. All of the chests in the storage system, and there's 36 double chests in the storage system, are also filled with items, which, I mean, I'd say it's been a very successful AFK session, don't get me wrong. Like, that is tons upon tons of items, and of course, we've got a bunch of really awesome books in there. We've got Frostwalker 2, which we both know I hate, but that is handy. That's an incredible book. All of these are pretty incredible. I mean, we seem to be getting lots of Frostwalker 2. Depth Strider 3. Efficiency 4. We've got all sorts of things going on here. We've got Fortune 2, Feather Falling 4. I mean, you really don't need all of these guys. We've got all of these villagers over here that are specifically for getting enchanted books. We don't need them. We really don't need them. All we need is the AFK fish farm, and we seem to get everything. So I think what I'm going to have to do is, in the next episode of Hermitcraft, we're actually going to have to clear out all of these chests. We're going to have to throw away all of these fishing rods and things like that, because there's plenty of junk in here. There's also a lot of saddles. Can you imagine, like, the horse army we could create? We could create, like, a cavalry. It would be insane. But we're going to have to find something to do with all these items. Perhaps we could create like a giant bulk storage system underneath my base with just hundreds upon hundreds of chests ready for lots of AFK fishing. That might be something to do as well. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.